sorry, but that's simply not true.
You should be sorry because you're supporting.
No, I'm supporting anti-fascism. Listen, here, I'll give you some clues here. Right here is a guide to anti-fascist groups, or to fascist groups. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
That's the Kekistani flag?
Yeah, that's the Kekistani
Do
flag.
you know who makes lists?
That's
Who?
the Kekistani flag's a meme.
Well, yeah. So do
So
anti-fascists.
here
So does
you have
everybody.
a list of groups that you have deemed to go
Yes.
against your group thing.
The
That to
traditionalist.
me sounds
Look,
like nothing more than
the
fascism.
National Socialist Movement. You know what they replaced that with? What that was before, recently, before their rebranding? That was a swastika before their rebranding. The neo-Nazi, what the fuck his name is, runs the, where is it? The National Policy Institute. All of it's fascy crap. And really, everybody should be an anti-fascist.
Well, who supports fascism?
Well,
That's the question.
sir, I am an anti-fascist, but
Oh, good.
naming your group the anti-fascist doesn't prove that you're anti-fascist. Anyone can name a group anything that they want.
Yeah, well,
It's ideals and attitudes and actions that determine whether or not you're against fascism.
you're right. And so
I
do you
am
think
against
that
fascism.
street
That's why I'm
fighters
against
in
you.
the Proud Boys are fascists?
No.
Well, they are.
How?
Prove
They
it.
support racist ideologies.
Which
They support-
ideology? They're against ethno-identitarianism. Ethno-identitarianism is a left-wing ideology.
Right, they support ultra-nationalism, though,
Correct.
anti-immigration
Correct.
policies,
All of which has
racial
nothing to do with race.
hierarchy
No,
policy,
Incorrect. That's where you got it wrong. The first two you were spot
militant
on.
supremacy,
Prove it. Citation needed.
patriarchy. They support all these things that are fascist ideals.
What about suppressing other people's speech? Is that a fascist ideal?
Yes, suppressing other people's speech is a fascist ideal. But you know what? The fascists aren't going to suppress your speech right now. They're going to
Wait,
suppress
hold on.
your speech when they come to power.
Wait, so suppressing other people's free speech is a fascist thing.
Yes.
What about promoting violence against people who disagree with you? Is that a fascist ideology
That's
as well?
also a fascist ideology, but
with
that's
those
not
two things
specifically
said, hold on,
fascist.
wait, with those two things said, with the anti-fascist group, that's all you see: suppression of free speech and violence against those they disagree with, who is just exactly like the brown shirts of Nazi Germany. So explain to me how the Antifa, which stands for anti-fascism, is not a fascist group. Why aren't they on your list?
They're not on my list, and they're not a fascist group because they're a leftist group. And
So
now-
because they're a leftist group, they get a free pass?
well, leftist groups can't be fascist. Fascism is a far-right ideology.
Because the dictionary says that, right?
Well, yes, the
Okay, so
dictionary.
let me ask you this. Was communist Russia a fascist government?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, that's left. They're
But
communists.
they weren't left. They weren't communist. After Stalin took control, they went far-right.
So, says who?
Says, you know, all the historians who wrote on, you know, Stalin and Mao and all those motherfuckers.
So none of
all
those guys are
awful-
communists?
No. they're
Mao's not a communist, Kim
authoritarian
Jong-un isn't a
pieces of
communist.
shit.
So they're pieces of shit. So just
So
because they turn into...
basically, right-wing is anyone that you don't like.
Well,
And
no.
anyone who implements your attitudes and then takes it the wrong way suddenly become right-wing.
They don't suddenly become right-wing. They have to make moves to become right-wing.
So Stalin was right-wing.
Stalin-
according to you. How about Mao?
Mao was later right-wing after his...
Oh, of course. Once it went sour, right?
yeah, once
That's
it
pretty
went south.
convenient, mate. That sounds like a pretty comfortable ideology to be behind.
It is pretty comfortable, you know?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So where's the...
Yeah, you most certainly can.
Where's the critical thinking with that at all? Just because somebody starts doing horrible things under the communist flag, under the left-wing banners,
Right.
and all of a sudden they're not left-wing anymore because they're doing horrible crap?
Well-
so do you equate Antifa with that as well?
Antifa, no, I do not equate them with doing horrible crap. They're not doing horrible crap.
All of
They're
the
trying
riots-
to fight
all of the riots
fascism
that
in the
they've
best
done-
way that they think they can. And, you know, they might be wrong in some areas, but they think that you guys are fascist.
So
Everyone makes
They
that
think that
argument.
makes it right.
destruction of property, assault, all of those things that made them a domestic terror group in New Jersey, for instance, they're not doing anything wrong?
Well, they haven't let off any bombs like right-wing groups.
Only-
they
yeah,
haven't
you're right.
mailed anthrax to people like right-wing groups.
Yeah, they haven't let off bombs except for when it comes to anybody else who opposes them. When they throw Molotov cocktails and bombs within groups of people, what's the difference?
That,
And you're talking about, I assume you're talking about the Oklahoma City bombing, right?
I'm talking about the
Find
Oklahoma
me other
City
right-wing
bombing.
bombers.
Okay, well, the 3%er militia tried
Who'd they
and
bomb?
attempted to let off bombs in Florida and Georgia.
What about
against their
Cascadia?
government.
What about the bombs that they've done? The eco-terrorists, very left-wing, they've killed people. They blew
Eco-terrorists
stuff
are
up.
different.
But are they
They're not
left-wing?
Antifa. I'm here to be anti-fascist. Very simple. Not left-wing, not right-wing. Anti-fascist.
As am I.
Well, I can tell you right now. This whole group of people and almost everybody who's going to come up here, and I'm not part of them. I'm covering it. But since I've been covering them, good luck finding a fascist or anybody who supports fascism in any way, shape, or form in this group. Even the Proud Boys that you call the fascist group, talk to them. Tell me what's fascist about it.
Try Identity Europa. They're a fascist
They
group.
have nothing to do with Proud Boys, sir.
Yeah,
And I,
Denounce them.
yeah, good. Good that you denounced them. That's good.
Why are you considering them part of our group?
How about the Pakistanis?
It's a meme.
Yeah, it's a meme. It is a meme.
troll.
It is a great troll.
it's a parody of you. It's a parody of left-wing identitarianism.
Get up that right-wing ideals, those fascist ideals, and get people thinking that, hey, it's just a meme, it's just funny. No.
It's a troll.
Yes, it
Just
is.
like this.
That's funny.
Saying okay is white supremacist now, it's a troll. It's
Yeah.
made up to make people who have no common sense or critical thinking skills whatsoever freak out over something stupid.
And you
Like
guys
Pepe the
fall for
Frog.
it.
How does somebody get pissed off over a cartoon frog?
You take the bait, man. Don't
Exactly.
take the bait.
Nobody
Don't be
does
so
until
gullible.
people start making it a hate symbol.
Nobody does
No
that.
one.
The only people who use those symbols are trolling other people because they believe some weird, freaked out, crazy notion. That's exactly what you're doing.
Here,
I
take
got
one of
one.
these
I got one.
pamphlets.
I got one.
My brother's got one.
Learn about anti-fascism. Learn what
I'll take one.
One of the 16 points. Learn those 16 points that are fascist points. I am going to spend my time handing more of these out and converting as many people as I can to anti-fascism.
What's fascist about
Yeah,
loving your country?
good.
No, you're okay for doing that. You should.
We're here expressing our freedom.
Good. Good.
Just curious.
That's for
So,
everybody.
what's fascist about loving your country?
Ultranationalism is different than loving your country.
Explain.
Ultranationalism is this great, like, we're waving flags, we're making it,
So you're saying, all the people that sign up and volunteer to defend this country, those are ultra-fascists?
those are,
Because they're ultra-nationalists?
no,
Those
ultra,
boys are our heroes, and you're calling them ultra-nationalists because they love their country more than you did or more than most people do?
I'm not saying that they're ultranationalists just because they signed up.
Just because you love your country does not make you a fucking
No, it doesn't. You're right, it doesn't. Just because you love this country does not make you an enemy of this country. But when you take it to the nth degree and say, hey, I love this country so much, I want it to be a whites-only country. None of you say that. I'm not saying any of you say that.
Okay, hold on.
But there are
Somebody say
people
that, I'll
who
bitch
show
slap
up
them for
here
you.
who do say that.
So you're talking like about the Klan. Now, like for instance, this guy right here. He's
Yeah.
not white. He loves his country. We'll just use him as an example really quick.
Good, you bet.
He loves his country. Let's say you could call him an ultranationalist. How?
Why do you
I
have
wouldn't
to
call
love
him
your
an
country?
ultranationalist.
Why do you have to love your country?
Because this is the greatest country in the world.
yeah?
Why not?
How come the greatest country in the world is bombing, has caused millions of deaths in the last 10, 20 years?
Name a country that has it. A superpower that has it.
Oh, yeah.
Power, the only one that is killing people left and right everywhere.
Like Russia.
7,
right?
Russia isn't killing anybody right now.
Ukrainians
No.
don't matter to you?
They kill their own damn people.
The U.S. put a puppet in power. You don't know that? Virginia Nuland?
Ukraine.
So what? I have friends over there
Yeah, I
too.
have people that moved from Ukraine that just deal with a lot of shit. Their parents right now are stuck.
Crimea was Russian for hundreds of years, okay?
Doesn't mean they get to go
And
back.
I don't see why I have to love a country that kills people left and right. 7 countries right now, bombing 7 countries.
They used to have it. It's
Okay,
like saying
again,
Germany
what
could
about
have
England?
Poland because they
What
used to
about
have it.
England is part of this group?
So in other words,
U.S. is the leader.
So in other words, any country that has power, nobody should love that country because they're killing people. Doesn't matter if they're killing good guys or bad guys,
The United
right?
States, as Martin Luther King said years ago, is the greatest purveyor of violence in the world, and it still is. And I rest my case.
We're also the greatest purveyors of freedom in the world. Absolutely.
But you have to meet violence with violence.
Okay, is Yemen attacking us? Is Yemen attacking us? Okay, is Iraq attacking us?
YouTube channel or what?
Okay, is Syria attacking us?
Japan attacked us?
Well, that's way back 50, 70 years ago.
Airliner World and more?
Protecting, that's BS. We just want to spray our system everywhere and subjugate everybody else.
So do we own Iraq? Do we own Iraq? Do we have any
Yes,
say
we
what
do.
Iraq does?
Yes,
How?
we do.
How?
We have troops there, we have troops everywhere.
Why do we have troops
We have
there?
1,000
We didn't
bases.
for a while.
How many bases does Russia have in the world?
Not as many as we do.
Two. We have 1,000.
Yeah, that's what happens when you save the world.
Save the world.
Woo!